it's the first day of the drive back to England. I've just stopped at this service station. Now, this service station has significance to me because when I came down to south of Spain in the car back in September last year, I noticed that the fuel was getting really, really low. I thought, oh my God, I wonder where the next service station is going to be. So I kept going, thinking, come on, I need one. Anyway, I need one desperately, and it's getting more and more desperate. Started going up all these mountain roads, and it was like middle of nowhere. Anyway, I was almost on fumes, and I just about crept literally up to this service station, and I conked out. I'll show you just where that car's it's having fuel put in it. I literally conked out and had to push it about three meters to get it to the actual pump. So my van is currently over there, the blue one, as you can see. And this service station it's actually quite a nice one. They do good food, and it's right up in the mountains. It's a nice setting. So then, of course, I went back to England and then came back on my Harley, and I stopped here again just because I thought, oh, there's that service station that I just got to. So I feel as though when I go by, it's like a lucky service station. So I feel as though I always have to stop here. So I just got myself a nice bottle of Coke or Pepsi, and I'm going to have a couple of sandwiches, which I've got in my bag over here. Then I'm going to get going. So it's probably it's probably 2 hours from my house. So I reckon if I do 4 hours today, 4 hours tomorrow, and then 4 hours on Sunday, and I'll be in time to get the ferry from Santander on Monday, which will then take me back to Plymouth. It's lovely. I've got to say, this part of it's near Granada, the mountains, it's all olive groves, like millions and millions of olive trees, and not just in flat fields, going right up in the mountains. They're not olives obviously, but just beyond that it's all olive groves, and all in straight lines. So it's incredible that they've used even this rough ground to produce olives in the way that they have. So I'll enjoy my lunch, enjoy a bit of a rest, and I'll get cracking again in a minute. Right, here I am driving through Segovia. I've been driving for about 8 hours now, and I thought, as I'm driving along, I keep seeing loads of birds of prey and loads of harriers, which you don't see very often in England, but there's loads of them here. So I thought, I know what I'll do. I'll fly my drone and see if I can film them from the drone. Now look at this scenery, okay? It's big, flat, open land. Not a tree in sight for miles. And yet I still managed to crash the drone and lose it in that field behind. And I've found it now, thank God. I'm a rubbish drone pilot. I can fly Falcons, but I can't fly drones. Well, it's about 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm just in a service station, another service station, having slept in my van all night. Look a little bit tired still, but it was okay. I managed to get a few hours kip. So I've been up for an hour or so, did a bit of a workout, just having a cup of coffee before I get on the road. There's the road out there, it takes me all the way to Santander. I am now about an hour north of Madrid. And so far, everything's going really well. Been having a good old sing-song in the car. Been listening to a few good podcasts. So, what could be better? Really hope this is going to work. I've just been driving along, and over on that ridge, there are loads and loads of Griffin vultures just flying over there. Dozens and dozens of huge Griffin vultures. There's actually several flying above my head. So I'm going to try and get the drone and see if I can film them from the drone. They must be feeding on something. There's dozens and dozens of them, and they're all actually coming down. They're all dropping out the sky. In the beginning, the vultures weren't too worried about the drone, and then I decided to try and get a little bit closer because I wanted to see what it was they were eating. At that point, they all disappeared. I realised that actually they were feeding on a dead horse. This particular area, which is the Pico de Europa mountains in northern Spain, there's lots and lots of wild horses, a bit like on Dartmoor. And of course, that's what the vultures were eating. Well, they'd started to eat the horse at the back end and all the soft bits. And of course, they'd taken out all the intestines. And I would imagine by the end of the day, there wouldn't have been anything left. As soon as I started to pull the drone away, the vultures all came back, and it returned safely to me with some really fantastic footage. Okay, well, I had a bit of success. I managed to get the drone to work. I don't know, for some reason it's filming really bright, but it doesn't matter. All of these vultures here, they've obviously, word's got round, there's hundreds of them, they're all circling above me. And I flew the drone right off over the distance, way over the road over there. But I managed to get it all on film, so that was worth doing. You know, I've got this little spot here now. Just gonna have a little bit of lunch. I feel quite chuffed with myself, I'm glad I did that. Right, okay, this is Santander, and I'm right on the very point. So you got the Spanish mountains in that direction. This is the first thing that greets you when you get to the coast. And England is about, I don't know, several hundred, probably 1,000 miles. Yeah, maybe 1,000 miles that direction. That's where I'm headed. Okay, I'll take my glasses off, otherwise I look like Eric Morecambe. There you go. Second night, or is it third? Third night of sleeping in the van. Yeah, third night of sleeping in the van. I've got to say, I have slept in more comfortable places in my life. Last night I was so cold, believe it or not, even though I'm in northern Spain, Santander, I was bloody freezing. I've got a duvet, a woolly jumper, a kind of flannelly shirt and a t-shirt, and I was still frozen. Hopefully tonight I'll be able to sleep. This morning when the sun came up about sort of 7 o'clock and the van started to get warm, I finally slept and I didn't wake up till 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Anyway, I've done a workout, I've done all my jobs I needed to do, had a walk around, seen a few things, saw some seals, did a nice sort of run over the top of the cliffs and saw some horses and la. I've just had a whiskey in a Mexican bar in Spain. A very nice guy from Mexico. We talked about boxing and stuff, and Donald Trump, and and now I'm going to try and sleep. So here I'm in bed. Night. Let's hope I sleep. Right, well, I've been waiting all day to get on the ferry. I had a long wait today. I was up this morning quite early, had a workout, had some breakfast, went for some exercise down the beach, and then basically all afternoon I've been sitting in my car waiting to actually get on the ferry. I've been very bored waiting to board. But finally on the ferry, and I'll just have one last little glimpse of Spain before we set off. It's actually brightened up, lovely and sunny, but it's pretty cold. It's been cold for the last few days. Way off over there in the distance, might not even be able to see it. But those are the mountains that I drove over the other day in my little van, where we saw the vultures, and it's been a really good little trip. But this is only a very brief trip back to the UK. I'm only going back to do 3 shows, and then I'll be coming back to Spain because I've got to get me Harley Davidson and ride all the way back to England again. So basically you could say I'm up and down like a bride's nightie, but what the heck. So we're going to go that way in a minute, down through that little sound area, and I just hope that we're not going to have a rough crossing. I think it's going to be okay. So I'm going to get myself some food, get myself installed in my little cabin, and just relax and enjoy the trip. If we're lucky, we might see some dolphins. Right, well I know this. Oh gosh, hang on. Every time you're going to do a video,
l'accès au garage est strictement interdit pendant la traversée. En cas d'urgence, un signal d'alarme constitué de 7 coups brefs et un coup long est diffusé sur l'ensemble du navire. Les passagers seront alors dirigés vers les différents moyens d'évacuation.
She could be talking about anything.
Nous invitons à consulter les panneaux de consignes de sécurité affichés à bord.
Still nice though, isn't it?
Merci.
You're welcome. Anyway.
Your attention, please.
Oh Christ.
The following is a safety announcement. Access to the garage is restricted during
Garage.
Passengers will be led to the evacuation.
Alright, love, alright, I get
We
it.
would like to advise you to read the safety information.
I'm not reading any safety information. Can't be bothered.
Thank you.
You're welcome. No more. Right.
Attention.
Oh, for Christ's sake. I'll do this video in a minute. Right, okay, she shut up. So, I didn't actually, don't tell anyone, I didn't actually pay for a cabin, okay? Now, last time I did this ferry trip, I went and paid 90 odd quid for a cabin, and I noticed that the door next door was unlocked. And I thought, I wish I hadn't bought a bloody cabin. I wish I'd just gone and got in that one. So I thought, what I'll do this time is I'll wait till we get sailing, and then I'll just walk around and see if there's any doors unlocked. Anyway, I found one. So I am going to be a stowaway, okay? If I get told off, I'll just have to say, all right, charge me whatever it is. But I thought, bugger it, I'm going to get my room for Nout. Because, you know, you can take the boy out of Merseyside, but you can't take the Merseyside out of the boy. So I'm going to try and get my room, which is actually, you know, quite nice. Look, it's got a shower and a nice comfy bed and all that. I'm going to try and get me room for Nout. Don't tell anyone. Living la vida loca. Well, look at that, I'm back in England. Yay! Here I am in one of my favourite places in the whole world. This is beautiful Crackington Haven, and I've got one of my favourite people in the whole world, my lovely mum. Here she is, and we're having a walk, and we're just saying how lucky we are to be in beautiful Cornwall. It's so nice to be home, I've got to say. Beautiful Crackington Haven.
On my way over Exmoor, I decided to drop in at one of my favourite places. This is Coney Gar, which is a tower right next to Dunster Castle. Now, I came to visit this place last summer and discovered that there was actually peregrine falcons nesting in the tower. And the reason I knew that is because I found several feathers. Well, this time I found a dead crow. Obviously the peregrines are still there. It's the most magical place. It's like something from a storybook.
Well, here we are. We're at Kingston Moorwood, which is the agricultural college near Dorchester, for the Dorset Spring Fair. Now then, just for a change, how unusual to be in England and for it to be chucking it down with rain. It's actually really cold. Now, I know that I'm probably getting soft because I live in Spain and I'm used to the lovely sunny weather out there, but it's really, really chilly. For me, anyway, I find it particularly chilly. Good news is I've got loads of wood in my lorry, and I'm going to get a nice fire going in a minute, but I just thought I'd let you say how do to Amadeus. Look, there's my lorry parked right next to the main arena, which is here. Obviously, this is the night before the show. Here's Amadeus. He's had a nice bath today. I've given him a good old... He says, get stuffed, I'm not interested. Anyway, he's had a lovely bath, he's all clean. So tomorrow morning, all I've got to do is plait his mane and make him look lovely and tack him up. And this is where we're going to do our show. And over there, look, that's the big posh house to Kingston Moorwood, which is obviously a beautiful old house. So I'm going to try and get a nice early night. I want to be bright-eyed and bushy-tailed for tomorrow. And I'm going to make it an absolute belter. There is something that I haven't told you. Because of bird flu, I'm not allowed to have my birds with me. I think the way it works is that DEFRA have decided that they're only allowed a certain amount of birds on site, and my falcons would tip them over their quota. Now, it doesn't matter the fact that there's crows, sparrows, pigeons, magpies, jackdaws, pigeons everywhere, you know, hundreds of them. You know, my falcons are obviously going to cause a massive threat to the public, so I'm not allowed to have my falcons, which, anyway, there you go, that's the world we're living in. So I'm going to be doing my whole show with just me and Amadeus and no falcons. I'm going to ask everybody to use their imagination. Funny old world, isn't it? Right, well, it's the first day of the Dorset Spring Show. Here's Amadeus. We did our first display at about midday. Well, someone was full of beans. Look at him, here he is, like butter wouldn't melt in his mouth. Somebody was very full of beans, did quite a lot of bucking and bronking, but it's a good job I can grow suckers at me bum, because I stuck to him like glue. As I said yesterday, I think in my previous post, I'm not allowed to have my birds of prey here. which is so frustrating. And it's all because of bird flu. Apparently they're only allowed a certain quota of birds on site, and my falcons would put them over the quota. So that means it's just me and Amadeus doing the show with no falcons, which is extremely frustrating, I've got to say. What are you after? So yeah, it's me and Amadeus holding the fort, and the falcons are all having a rest weekend. But we still managed to do our display, same length as always. I told the crowd that they had to use their imagination. Fortunately, most of the people watching had seen my show in the past anyway, so they knew that the falcons going through the horse's legs is not an exaggeration, it actually does happen. And then of course I let Amadeus do his run around bit, and everybody got very emotional, so it actually worked out okay. However, to be at a display doing your display with basically half of your team because you're not allowed to have your birds is extremely frustrating, especially when it's absolute nonsense, makes no sense, because you know there's crows, pigeons, magpies everywhere. So having my falcons here, is it really going to make that much of a difference? But you know, all these people here, hundreds and hundreds, probably thousands of people at the show today, am I really going to be putting their life at risk by having 3 falcons here? No. Try telling that to Defra. Anyway, we'll carry on smiling. So it's all going well so far.
Well, Amadeus was definitely full of beans, but that's because he hasn't done anything for a little while. We didn't get a chance to warm up, but he did look fantastic, I have to say. The crowd were great. They really, really got behind us, and we had so much support and so much love from everybody. It was really great. Well, at the end of the first day, it started to rain. In fact, it rained so heavily that there was no way my lorry was going to be able to move. So I needed to get some food, and I decided to ride into Dorchester on Amadeus, and we went to Lidl's. I got myself a nice chicken curry. I got myself a bottle of something to drink. I got some milk and some tea bags and some eggs and bacon for the following morning. It was quite nice actually riding through Dorchester because everyone recognised us. Well, after I'd eaten my curry and had a drink, I got into bed. I thought, great, I can have a really lovely, nice, cosy sleep now. I don't have to wake up till 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. Or so I thought.
Well, good morning everybody. It's old Jonty Marshmallow, and here I am. And here's Amadeus. What a night we've had. Now, I know I look awful. Look at the state of my eyes. I've actually got a sore eye. I think I might have a sty coming because I'm run down. All the travelling. But anyway, last night at about 5 o'clock in the morning, I had a knock on my lorry door. I was fast asleep at the time. And the security guard said to me, the fences have all blown down and the horses run off. I thought, bloody hell, wonderful. So I had to get my clothes on and go looking for him. Anyway, thankfully I found him. He was just in the car park. But you know, last thing you want at 5 in the morning, it was chucking it down with rain, miserable and cold, and Amadeus had had enough. So like Nelly the elephant, he off he went. But anyway, we fixed the fences, and I've got him here, and I'm just about to give him a brush. He doesn't look too bad considering there's mud everywhere. Look at the state of the arena. It's absolutely, it's like a mud bath. But that's the corner over there. You can just about see where he was stood all night. But he doesn't look too dirty, so I'm just going to give him a brush. Then I'm going to make myself an egg and bacon butty, and the people are going to start piling in. I say that's provided the vehicles can get in, because it just rained and rained, and a lot of the stall holders either been towed out by a tractor or they're being towed in by a tractor. So all the fun of being a showman. Look at Amadeus being in total flirt with all of his fans. After the show, I was handing out carrots for all the kids, and they all come over and give him a bit of a pat and a stroke. Isn't he a charmer? It's the end of the show. I've just dropped Amadeus off with all of his friends at the stables, and this is the track that takes you back to the main road. It's beautiful. I'm now driving up to Bath. I'm going to spend the night there, and then tomorrow heading up to North Wales to collect the falcons. It's been a really good couple of days. I'm tired, but I feel very happy. So there we go, another wonderful show and another day in the life of a travelling showman. Right, well, this is a bit of a catch-up video. I'm sitting here with Duchess, giving her some food. I'm going to feed the others in a minute.
I had to tell you, I've been really rotten the last few days. In fact, if I just put that there in a minute, I'll show you. Look at the state of my eye. First of all, I've got an eye infection, look, really sore. And I've also got some bug. So I'm sniffling. I look blooming awful. Hopefully I'll be alright by the weekend. But I had to drive up yesterday to get the girls. I had these three, this one and the other two are in the back. And I'm at my friend Peter Munro's house at the moment. He's an absolute hoot, and if you're a follower of mine, you'll remember Peter. I made him a porch, I built him a porch last year. Anyway, I come to repair the porch, but also to do one or two other jobs. And he's definitely the most eccentric and probably the funniest person I've ever met in my life. And I really love Pete. So I'm going to stay for another few hours, and I might head off tonight because I've got to get the girls flying. So I want to take them down to the West Country and fly them down there for a couple of days before we do the show at the weekend, which is going to be the Non-Such Country Show, which is a real good one. So that's what I'm up to. Let's hope I get better soon.